Good afternoon. My name is Ashley Coulter, the Assistant Director with New Student Orientation and Family Programs. We are bringing to you our first webinar from the Parent and Family Association, and this month's topic is Commencement. So we have with us here today a representative from Commencement.
Hello, thank you so much for the introduction. I'm Mary Beth Rare. I'm Manager of Special Events and Programs at the Office of the Secretary, and I'm happy to be here to talk about Commencement and also to say congratulations to all of the family and friends and perhaps you who is graduating this coming May.
So I'm going to ask Mary Beth a number of questions today that you all submitted about the Commencement experience. If in this time we don't get to any questions that you have, inadvertently missed something, you can receive a lot of further information about Commencement on the website commencement.rutgers.edu. So let's begin. Our first question is, when and where is University Commencement?
So, University Commencement is at High Point Solution Stadium. It's located in Piscataway, New Jersey, and it's Sunday, May 15th. It begins at 12:30 p.m. and we hope that people get there early because it is a huge party. It's all of the students from Rutgers University, New Brunswick, and also the Rutgers Biomedical and Health Sciences. Those communities all gather together for this very big celebration.
So, Mary Beth, as we get excited about this upcoming Commencement, where do we start getting details about preparing for Commencement?
Oh, the first place that you might want to go is right to our website. That's commencement.rutgers.edu. It's a great spot to get all of the most important information that you'll need. Your student may also need to go to their school's convocation page, but for Commencement itself, you want to be at commencement.rutgers.edu. The two things that you're going to pay most attention to are everything about parking, because that's going to allow you access to the campus that day. And if you have special needs, there's a special needs page that has all the details of registering for special needs parking hang tag and the accommodations at the stadium for you. I'll share more about parking and special needs as we go on.
Perfect. So what's the difference between University Commencement and a school's convocation ceremony? Which should parents choose to attend?
Well, Commencement is the very big celebration that we talked about with all of the Rutgers University New Brunswick community, plus the Rutgers Biomedical and Health Sciences. Those schools all gather together for this very big event. Degrees of all types, bachelor's, master's, doctoral degrees, everyone will be there for this big celebration, and their schools confer their degrees at that ceremony. This is your opportunity to see your student's name up on the ribbon board and to have everyone gathered in one place. So it's a big deal.
Sounds exciting.
Yeah, the school convocations are a little bit more individualized and personalized. The schools have their own distinct traditions, and they have recognition programs. So your student's name would be called aloud. They're likely going to walk across a platform and receive any sort of honors that they have coming to them. Parents, family, and friends are invited to the school convocations and University Commencement. We wouldn't want anyone to miss a part of these great days.
Thank you. So, about how long is the University Commencement ceremony?
University Commencement will start at 12:30 p.m. where the students process onto the field. The fans, all the family and friends, they're going to be sitting in the stadium, and they'll be looking for their student's name up on the ribbon boards and listening for their students' schools to be called out as they proceed out of the tunnels and out onto the field. And the procession should end at 1, and then the actual ceremony will go from 1 to 2 p.m. Immediately after Commencement, most of the schools are going to exit the stadium, and then this is the time for the School of Arts and Sciences. They're going to have their convocation immediately following, and theirs will be about an hour and a half. So don't be surprised if some people are getting up and leaving, and others are staying for another ceremony immediately after.
That makes sense.
Okay.
So with having a semi-long ceremony and possibly having 2 back-to-back, what if I get hungry during this time? What if my kids need some snacks?
The concession stands will be open. Don't worry about that.
I'm always thinking about that hunger, Mary Beth. So recently Rutgers has moved to a clear bag policy in terms of stadium events. Will that bag policy be in effect for commencement?
Yes, guests will be able to carry a 12 by 12 by about 6-inch deep clear bag, vinyl bag, something PVC, some sort of clear bag they can carry into the stadium. You're also able to carry like a small clutch, a little purse in your hand.
Does that have to be clear?
That does not have to be clear. And any medically necessary items, of course, can be brought into the stadium. You might have to go through guest services to have that bag checked if you've got something oversized or not clear. You're also allowed to bring in sealed bottles of water, which you might be of interest to know. One thing that people should definitely leave home, though, are their hoverboards. They are not permitted on campus, sorry.
That's an important thing to know. I can see a lot of little brothers wanting to ride around. So once we get inside the stadium, what can we expect? Are there balloons? Are there noisemakers? How can we cheer for our graduates?
Well, of course, hollering, cheering, hooting, and shouting, that is all encouraged. We want people clapping and showing their excitement and love for their family members that were out on the field and receiving their degrees. But we really ask our guests to be considerate of others, so please leave the signs, balloons, anything that might block someone else's view. If you could leave that at home, that would really be appreciated because they won't be allowed in. It's going to be a really exciting time in there. So people are going to want to express their appreciation for their graduates in different ways. One way that people can express their appreciation and love for their graduates is to bring them flowers. And we will have a vendor right on site. It's Commencement Flowers. They'll have a truck there that day so people can either buy them flowers or a Commencement t-shirt. There's two versions. There's ones for undergrads and the graduate students, and it has every student's name listed on the t-shirt in tiny, tiny print.
That's awesome.
It is pretty cool. Yep.
So when our family and friends enter the stadium, is there assigned seating or is it general admission, first come, first serve?
It is first come, first serve. So we recommend that people come early.
Okay.
The gates will open at 10:30. But because the parking lots are very big, we expect that people will come early, which is great. We want them to come to the stadium and be relaxed. The doors will open at 10:30 and the seating is first come, first serve. The stadium is enormous, but every seat is fantastic thanks to the great big jumbotron and the digital display boards. The seats on the side, some people think are the best view because they feel a little closer to the field, but the seats on the north end are really spectacular because you have a head-on view of the platform, which is the stage, and so that's really fantastic too. So there really isn't a bad seat in the house. So get there early, but there's plenty of room. It'll be fantastic.
Good to know. So what, if any, special accommodations are made for our students or guests that have disabilities or special needs during commencement?
Well, we are very aware of and do our best to accommodate those who have special needs that attend commencement either as a student or as a guest. Our commencement webpage, which again is commencement.rutgers.edu, we have a page that's dedicated to those who have special needs so that we can get all this information in one spot. And we do everything we can to accommodate those with special needs, but people need to realize that this is a very large campus and there's going to be some amount of walking no matter where you park, and then once you get inside the stadium, it's so large too that you have to be able to move about the stadium one way or the other. So we really recommend that people, if they have any sort of special need and they aren't already utilizing a wheelchair, we recommend that they rent one for the day. They could rent a wheelchair or scooter and bring it and use it for the day, and it would probably make their life and their day a lot more enjoyable. So the key with special needs is that you have to plan accordingly, and we recommend, for the big part of that planning, is registering for a special needs parking hang tag. Those hang tags are now available on our website, so you go and you register. That will be sent out with the parking mailings later on in April, like our other parking hang tags will be. But This way, our offices will be contacting you and letting you know all the details of special needs parking that is available. There's a lot right next to the stadium that we'll have available for people, but again, it's a big parking lot, so if you're parked at the back end, a good amount of walking will be required. I might suggest that anybody who's coming and they're parking in another campus, that they can still consider getting a special needs hang tag, even though they forget that they themselves, as the driver, aren't special needs. Their passenger might be, and that's really important to remember. So if our guests have registered for special needs parking, they're going to be in a parking lot very close to the stadium, and as they approach and get in, they're going to be directed to the nearest available handicap seating, special needs seating. And these are street level off the concourse. There's seating for those who are in a wheelchair or scooter, and then the top 2 rows of seats are designated for special needs. Once you go and you get seated in those areas, an usher will come along and give you tickets for those seats. So they'll be reserved for you for that day. And if you come a little bit later, you might have to walk around the stadium that much further. So again, if you need a wheelchair or a scooter, you might want to consider renting one in advance. So that way you just have a much more comfortable day. Your guests are going to be encouraged to sit just in the row right in front of you, so that way there's enough seating for anybody who has special needs at the stadium. So we try to be considerate of people because it's very limited seating, but we do our best to accommodate everyone.
So on the topic of special needs, what if a student who's graduating has some special needs? What options are provided to them?
That's a great question, and we'd like to accommodate all of our students with special needs, just like our guests. And those who have special needs, we would like them to register for that special needs parking if they need it, and also to call our commencement office. We will talk to them on the phone about what their needs are and make sure that they're accommodated accordingly. Our phone number, can I give it, is 848-932-2469. That's 848-932-2469. So if they contact the commencement office, we'll help them out.
So talk to us a little bit about traffic patterns and how they're affected by the commencement events. How should attendees prepare for the traffic patterns that they're going to see that day?
Well, we're expecting a lot of traffic that day. 45,000 people are expected at university commencement. So we think that people should leave their homes early, plan for extra time, and plan to be there when the gates open at 10:30, because it's just going to take a lot longer to move about the roads around the New Brunswick and Piscataway areas. Again, making the most of that day is planning. So the first thing you're going to do is register for your parking hang tag, and then when that hang tag comes in the mail, you want to review the materials. There's a parking hang tag, there's going to be a map, and also special instructions that day. So in the instructions and on the map and on the hang tag, there are specific instructions on how you want to access your parking zone or campus.
Okay.
So it might tell you something a little bit different, where you think that you normally access a certain parking lot, there might not be any access that day. So read your instructions ahead of time before you leave home. It's going to make for a much better day.
Can guests park on campus to attend the commencement activities? And will a parking pass be required? And if so, how do they receive one?
Well, this is one of the most important things we need all of our guests and students to understand, is that on commencement day, May 15th, you will need a university commencement hang tag. And these can be registered for on our commencement.rutgers.edu website. We want folks to go there. It is on the website. But starting March 21st, that morning, for the next 4 weeks until 9 a.m. on April 18th, students can register for up to 2 free parking hang tags. And so when they register for this hang tag, again, they can get 2. If they're getting a special needs one, they may only get 1, but they're going to be directed to the parking lot that's best for their schedule. If they're attending a convocation that morning or that afternoon, they're going to be placed in the lot that's best for their schedule.
If a student or a guest chooses the Livingston campus as their parking option, what zones are located there for them to park in?
Okay, so that is a parking zone in itself, is the Livingston campus. And it's quite large, again, but we do have shuttle buses from Livingston campus over to High Point Solutions Stadium. So we ask our folks to, again, wear comfortable shoes because you could be walking quite a bit, and you'll park your car as directed by our parking attendants, and then park and load the shuttle bus over to High Point Solutions Stadium. Because it's very large over there too, just like all the other lots, you want to make sure that you pay a little attention to where you parked and what lot. So that way you get the right bus back and then you can walk to the right lot. Now, if you come late and you have special needs, or you might actually choose Livingston campus knowing that somebody in your party has special needs, you can drive right on up to a special needs drop-off spot on Livingston campus, head for signs for the RAC, the Rutgers Athletic Center, drop your special needs guest and one companion off for that shuttle bus. You can go and park the car, you and the other remainder of the party, and the special needs person and their companion will take a special needs shuttle right to the stadium. And they'll be dropped off at Athletes Glen, which is on the north side of the stadium. Okay. And then the rest of the party should take the standard shuttle bus over, and they can be reunited with the party and all go into the stadium together. That way it's really most convenient for everybody, everybody's accommodated, and yet everyone who has special needs can take the shuttle bus over. Because yeah, again, we really encourage people to register for the special needs hang tag. If you're on Bush campus, you think that you might be close, but you could be traveling quite a distance, and there aren't shuttle buses on that campus. So if in doubt, if somebody in your party is going to need some special attention or unable to walk a far distance, definitely try and get a special needs hang tag. It's going to be very important and make it for a much more enjoyable day for everyone.
So the last parking zone is the College Ave campus, right?
Exactly,
Can you talk just a little bit about parking there?
Yeah, so College Avenue campus is New Brunswick. There's a lot of parking zones here. There's also on-street parking that day is free for folks who don't have a parking hang tag. Our parking, event staff parking will direct people to the different parking lots that are available, and then those guests will be directed to the College Avenue Student Center for taking the shuttle bus over to the stadium. Again, you want to pay attention to where you're parked and know that you're at the College Avenue location, because that campus, right? Because you want to be able to get the right bus back. And you know what? Another thing that we're asking our folks is, if you are planning on taking Uber, Lyft, or a taxi, ask your driver to take you over to College Avenue Student Center, because you're not going to be in the rush of the stadium, and at the stadium your car ride will not be able to drop you off at the stadium anyway, because without a hang tag they can't get near it. So we're asking those folks to get dropped off at College Avenue and take the shuttle over as well. It's going to make a much more enjoyable day.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Thank you. So the stadium is uncovered, it's located outside. What happens if it rains?
Well, this is a rain or shine event. So if it rains, you should come prepared in rain gear, boots, a poncho. Please leave your umbrella at home, because we don't want to obstruct the vision of anybody else in the stadium. And the only thing that would stop this event is lightning. So just come prepared.
Sounds good to me, Mary Beth. So let's say that I'm out of state. For some reason I'm not able to attend the physical ceremony. Is the commencement broadcast on any media platform, and would it be possible to watch it remotely?
Yes. University Commencement is available to watch remotely. You can watch it live stream from our website, and if you get on campus or you're nearby but you prefer to watch from an air-conditioned building, right, you can watch from one of the student centers. College Avenue, Bush, Livingston, all of them are going to have a live stream viewing area, which will be really nice.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Yeah. You can watch from the comfort of your own home live stream, Or if you like the radio, or if you're at like a job site, you can listen to WRSU Rutgers Radio at 88.7 FM and listen to this commencement.
That's a wonderful option that you all provide.
Yeah.
All right. So a few more questions for you. Going back to that advanced planning, what do students need to do to make sure that they're eligible to graduate, and who should be contacted to learn more if a student is eligible at that time?
Well, that's a really good question. And students have to make sure that they're on track to graduate. They should be working with their school, their dean's office, and working with them. They might want to check the requirements and check also their degree navigator, which is an online service
Tool
for,
that they use?
yeah, it's an online tool for them. And if they have any issues with it, they can usually request to review it with their student advisor. And because there's 21 schools conferring degrees, it can be a little confusing for parents and sometimes the students to know where they're actually getting a degree from. So we really want the students to check with those schools in advance, make sure they're on track, and know what school they're getting the degree from. It's also going to be really important when they go to get their academic regalia that they know precisely which school and which degree they're getting. So I'll touch on that in a little bit too.
Perfect. So are there any student fees associated with commencement?
The only fee that's actually required is that the students rent or purchase their academic regalia, because there's no tickets. Commencement has actually, no charge for the student or their families, but getting the academic regalia is required for the student to be on the field.
Speaking of regalia, I want to throw in a little tip that I heard earlier this week, Mary Beth. Meeting with the bookstore, they told us that if students have a balance on their RU Express, or if parents purchase a Barnes & Noble gift card, they can use that towards their regalia purchase.
Oh, that's a great tip. Thanks for
Yeah.
sharing that.
Sometimes students have extra money at the end of the semester, and so it can go to a great cause. And if it's a gift that a parent or family member wants to give their student, they can purchase a Barnes & Noble gift card anywhere and send to their student to use towards the regalia.
That's a really good idea.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
So, speaking of regalia, again, where do students order and pick up their academic regalia, such as their caps and gowns? Are they available for rentals, or do students just have to purchase them?
Academic regalia is available for rent or purchase, and the student will get it from the university bookstore, which is the Barnes & Noble on Somerset Street. The regalia consists of a gown, headwear, and hood. And this is where it's really important for the student to know where they're getting their degree from. The staff at the university bookstore is very helpful, but they can only be as helpful as much as the information they have. So because there's so many choices of hood colors, and even there's 2 different robe colors, the students really need to know in advance which school they're getting the degree from and what their actual degree will be.
So when do students actually get their regalia for commencement?
Well, starting April 1st, the university bookstore will have the regalia available for rent or for sale.
I've heard that students can purchase their items at grad fair event. Can you share with us a little bit more about that event?
Yeah, Grad Fair is a 3-day event that runs at University Bookstore from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. every day on April 13th, 14th, and 15th. On each of those days, there will be representatives from different companies displaying their school rings, special graduation announcements, additional commemorative items, maybe like diploma frames, and I think they have some special packages then too. So it's a great time to stop in at University Bookstore.
Sounds good. So I have a few more questions about celebrating on the big day. Will a professional photographer be contracted by the university to take photos of students during commencement? And if so, can families purchase those photos that were taken?
That is a great question. Everybody wants to capture the image of that special day. And we do. We have grad images coming. They will be there taking photos throughout the day. And when they take photos of your graduate, they'll be asking them for their email address. and they'll be quickly typing it in. And so after the ceremony, your student will be getting a link to all their photos. So they may have many photos throughout the day, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll have this great keepsake from the day.
Oh, that sounds awesome. So let's say a student missed getting their regalia in advance. If they were that busy from April 11th through 13th, what are their options?
Oh no, it's not only April 11th through the 13th. So the 13th, 14th, 15th is grad fair.
Okay.
But actually it goes on sale April 1st. And it stays on sale up until commencement, the day before. But we really recommend they get it early because there's so many different hood colors and it's so specific what you should be wearing. You might need some time to check back with your school, what hood color you might want to be, that you do want to be purchasing. So we really recommend you get it in advance. But if you're really last minute, there'll be a truck with regalia on sale or for rent at the stadium. The students have to have a form of payment for the regalia, again, or they'll be denied from going on the field, which would be terrible. But let's make sure that they're all prepped and ready. So thanks for your help, parents.
For the really last minute ones. All right, so before we end, is there anything else that you'd like to share with us today?
Well, this year celebrates the 250th anniversary commencement for Rutgers. So it is a really momentous year, so historic and special for all of us. So, you know, we're very honored that you're helping us get the word out to our parents and helping us build excitement for commencement. This year we're doing a lot of contests and special messaging on our social media pages. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We can put out the links for that. And we're just super excited with the 250th anniversary commencement. So thank you to the parents and family members for supporting their students and for coming out to support your graduate on May 15th.
Thank you very much for being with us here today, Mary Beth. So if anyone has further questions that we didn't have time to cover in this webinar, please feel free to visit commencement.rutgers.edu for any further information. So signing out today, this was Ashlea, Stephanie, and Mary Beth from Parent and Family Association's first webinar. Enjoy the rest of your day.